Hey everyone, so I just want to say thank you to all of those of you who have kept up on Surrogacy, who have subscribed and have gone along on this journey. Um, it was definitely a journey, very different from the first one that I had gone through. So, to update you all, I lost the baby about a week ago. It's been pretty tough. Uh, my water broke. Um, so I went into the hospital and they had informed me that with her being so young, it was only 22 weeks, and my water being broke, that she wasn't developing, and with her having gastroschisis, that she wouldn't survive delivery. Um, she wouldn't survive. They told me it was less than a 1% chance. Luckily, the parents were able to make it since we were scheduled to see the specialist last week. So I waited. I went in on Monday, and the parents came in on Tuesday. So I waited it out for a day to see what we were wanting to do. We decided to go ahead and induce after the doctor came in and gave us the statistics and the rundown of what would happen, and that the likelihood and the chances of her surviving was basically slim to none. It was a really, really hard decision to make. You're never quite prepared for loss, especially at such a young stage in pregnancy. So we induced, and she had a heartbeat. Um, I was in labor for a couple hours. I could still feel her moving and kicking, and just the thought of them not trying to save her was heart-wrenching, knowing that she wasn't going to survive. Was pretty devastating, but it felt a little bit better knowing that she wasn't going to suffer when she was born. I opted to not get the epidural for a while because we thought the labor would progress quickly since my water had already broke. Unfortunately, it did not progress quickly. I had a fentanyl, Demerol. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore, so I opted to get the epidural. Once I got the epidural, she was born. I gave birth to her, and we decided not to see her when she was born, thinking that with the gastroschisis that her intestines would be outside of her abdomen. She would just be too little, and it would be too devastating to see her. Unfortunately, where they had me laying in my bed, I could see her in the reflection of my light. So when I noticed that her umbilical cord, right above her belly button, it looked like a hernia. It didn't look like there were intestines outside of her abdomen. So I was really confused when I had seen that. So I sat there for a minute and thought about seeing her. And I asked my nurse if I could see her, and they brought her back into the room. And I took a look at her, and she was a baby. She had all of her fingers and all of her toes. She had fingernails. She didn't look to be alive to me. She looked like she had passed. There were no intestines outside of her abdomen. It looked as though they were in her umbilical cord, which I know is a completely different type of birth defect, which still could have affected her had the pregnancy progressed, and had she grown to term. But but seeing that she was okay, you know, was kind of heartbreaking in a sense, because it wasn't as bad as what the doctors were saying. So that was really frustrating when the doctors are telling you one thing and your body's telling you another thing, and then, you know, the baby's born and you see something else, and it can be really frustrating. So I had her. I got to see her. They had a lot of nurses there, amazing nurses. They were really just so sympathetic and just very attentive and just were amazing. Um, the next day, I was released from the hospital and I kept getting calls, and they were requesting birth certificate information. So I had gotten into contact with my attorney, and I spoke with my attorney because the parents had already left. And my attorney had informed me that due to her not being alive when she was born, there wasn't a need for them to produce a birth certificate. So the hospital called again and was requesting birth certificate information. And I asked them why they were requesting this information if she wasn't born alive. Turns out that she was alive. She not only was alive when she was born, but she was alive for 2 hours. Um, so that was really hard. You experience a loss, and then you're told that the baby was alive for 2 hours. I mean, it's 120 minutes that she fought and she laid there. So I requested, because we had asked the nurses when she was born if she was alive, and they said that she wasn't. So I had requested information from the hospital because we had been told that she wasn't alive, and now I've got the records department calling me and telling me that she was alive for 2 hours. I was furious. So they said that nobody was available that could answer my question. And so I had to wait. And yesterday they gave me a call, and the nurse was trying to tell me that they consider it a fetal demise when the baby is born without a heartbeat, when the baby's born basically dead. But because she was so little and her skin was so thin, they could see a fluttering of her heart. So they considered that to be alive, which, I mean, you would be, if your heart's beating, you're alive. So she tried to be nice about it. The way she went about it was odd, because it was like she tried to play it off as if, you know, the baby was dead, but that wasn't the case. She had a heartbeat, and they said that they noticed that she had been breathing, that she was breathing a little bit. So she was alive, more or less. She was alive. So that was really frustrating to me. First of all, you guys told me in the hospital that she wasn't alive. Then I get a phone call when I go home saying that she was alive for not only, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. She was alive for 2 hours. 2 hours. I mean, could you have imagined how much of a fighter she would have been had she gone to an actual neonatal facility where she had the right medical staff and the right team to take care of her and to help her? I'm trying my best not to dwell on it. What's done is done. It's over. It's sad. I got home and I have 2 little ones myself. So it's tough when your kids know that you're pregnant, and then you come home and mommy's not pregnant anymore. So explaining that to them was hard. I had a lot of family and friends that have been here for me through all this, which I'm very grateful for and thankful for. Um, Sorry, this is just, this is real, this is raw, this is what happens when you lose somebody or something. She might not have been biologically mine, but I carried her. I felt her move, I felt her kick, I heard her heartbeat. I created a bond. I had a bond with her. So it's just really unfortunate. So now I'm just trying to get back on track with life. I don't know where this goes. I don't know what this is going to lead to. Because, you're pregnant and then you're not. So life is very different. Now that I'm back home, I feel an emptiness. And it's tough. It's tough. But I'm a tough person. So I'm not gonna try to dwell on it, and I'm gonna try to stay positive. And we talked about possibly doing another surrogacy down the road. I'm not sure I want to wait too long, just because I'm gonna be older, my body's gonna be older, and risks get higher as you get older. But I do know that she is in a better place. It's really unfortunate. It happens, and you're never quite ready for a loss. 3 healthy pregnancies, healthy babies. You never think that it'd be you. So to all those out there watching this isn't the end. I will continue to stay strong, and I will continue to post here and there when I can. And I thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you back soon. Thanks.